mothers raising these young boys up. They don't realize how this right here is still affecting them. Slavery. Some people say, well, Dr. Clay, slavery was 400 years ago. But no, let's look at social learning theory, because this is their theoretical paradigm, which they're saying we learn from our environment, or what you are exposed to. So if that's the case, and you've been exposed to trauma for 400 years, and you haven't been treated for it, what makes you think you're still not going to be impacted by it?
Wow.
We don't have to make this complicated and difficult. So what happens with single mothers, they don't understand really what's going on. Let me just say this. Let's just say, this is the father. This is the mother. I'm the mother. This is the father. This is the son, and this is the daughter. Who's standing right here?
The mother.
No, who's standing? The father.
Oh,
Remember, father, mother, son, daughter.
Okay.
And then over here we have the slave master. Who's over here?
Slave master.
And who's right here?
Father. Mother, son, and daughter.
Now, who's over here?
Slave master.
He destroys the who?
Father.
In front of the
Mother. The children.
right there. And the son. This father is out of the what? Picture. He's done. And he has been destroyed in front of the who? The mother. Now, what is going to be the natural response of the mother toward her children? What do you think? Anybody else? What's going to be the natural response? How's she going to respond to the children? That's my question. How will she respond to her children?
To protect them.
She's what? She's going to step in like a father.
Right.
Okay, what else? What else she going to do?
She's going to protect them.
She going to protect the children? Why?
She parents out of fear.
She parent. Okay, go a little more into the Mr. Miller. What you mean by that, sir? Oh,
That's what I was gonna say.
she's going to overcompensate for which one? Both of
She's
them?
gonna, she's gonna overcompensate for the father because he's.
But who
not
she's
there.
going to? She's going to overcompensate to the children.
Right.
Right.
You think so?
I know so.
I don't believe so.
I do.
I don't believe so. And I'm explaining to you why. Now, you're right. She is going to overcompensate. But it goes a little deeper. Now, let me tell you what happens. The man has been destroyed.
Okay.
I overcompensate to protect my children.
Yes.
But I'm going to show more protection toward one than I'm going to show toward the other. And which one am I going to protect more? The son.
Yes.
So that means now that the daughter
He's next to the father.
becomes independent.
Wow.
The
Yes.
daughter cooks, cleans, takes care of the house, responsible. The mother, in turn, is pacifying the who?
The son.
The son.
Right.
So now the son doesn't know he can't be a what?
Man.
A man.
Wow.
Because the mom has took the trauma and pacified him to the point where he can't even function as a man. Now we have all these young professional African-American women growing up, and they're trying to figure out where are the men, and the men aren't there because the parents have pacified and destroyed them to the point where they can't even function. So now you got these single professional women who out here and they have it going on, and they looking for this man, and he can't even function because he's looking for a woman to pacify him. And the sister, she got it going on. She look, nigga, I ain't doing that for you.
Wow.
And then what happened there? And then we got a domino effect. So this still is affecting us today.
Yes.
And I mean, it's crazy when the mothers will come in and their boys could be just flat out just wrong. But he's right. And this is we overcompensate. Because we don't know our history. We just don't know. So now we got these single mothers raising these boys up, and they think they're protecting them, but you're hurting them.
Yes.
And then the sisters, they just out here doing it. Because guess what? Moms ain't providing protection, so the young lady now is independent.
Right.
So now she's learning how to do everything else on her own. And mom's saying, well, I don't want what happened to you. Like what happened to your father.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you everything you want.
Wow.
I'm gonna give you everything you need. And the grown man is sitting there, and the young boy, he just confused because he wants to be a man, but he has no direction to teach him how to be a man.
Yes.
Now, what do they represent? The chains, the emotional bondage that's on our young boys. They are emotional time bomb walking.
Wow.
I see it every day. Emotional time bomb walking. And parents don't understand what's going on. They confused. But guess what? I tell fathers all the time, you got to get yours off for your child history. Because see, I had to come to the fruition. It took my father 60 years to tell me he was sorry for what he did to me. 60 years. Not 10, 20, 30, 60. 60. So we got to break these chains. We got to break these chains. Look at that. Tell me what you see.
Half of a man.
What do you see?
Half of a man. Front view, side view.
Right, I see a little bit of, it's like an illusion.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the front view, the side
Y'all
view.
confused?
Yes.
Yeah. Y'all confused? What do you see?
Front and side.
Front and the side. Something not right.
Yeah.
And that's how our young men see themselves.
Wow.
They know something not right. They know something not right. They know something not right. And that's how they see themselves. I mean, it's crazy. That's how our young ladies see themselves. It's a woman's job to respect a woman. See, this young right here, she emotionally what? Constipated and incarcerated.
Yes, she is.
See, this young girl right here, somebody done taught her something. But don't think constipated incarceration don't affect the girls. Because the girls are crying out for the fathers.
Yes. Yep.
And they end up getting with the boy that was emotionally incarcerated, emotionally constipated. And they can come from a nice household. And because he jacked up, and there's not enough available men that's got themselves together, then some sisters say, you know, I'm gonna do what I need to do. Trick or treat. What's wrong with this picture? Now that thing's supposed to move. I don't know what's going on my PowerPoint. Yeah. When I do my student workshop and I put this slide on, that thing be dropping like that and shaking. Boy, you should hear the kids in the audience. They go crazy. They got to tell you put that up there, yeah. I put trick or treat up there because of Halloween. It's supposed to move today. I don't know why. It won't. Yeah, that thing used to be. And you should see the kids like, hey, I was in New York. Kids in New York for 3 days doing a session with high school and middle school kids. Oh, when I put that, I already know the response will be when I play. Because every time I do it, I get the same response. Woo! Then the boys going crazy and the girls get mad. She a freak, she hold on. And I flip the script. Well, you put the same thing on social media. Then they get quiet. Then they want to change. Trick or treat. How many people know who that person is? A young man, I know who you know who it is, don't you?
Is that game?
You know who that is? You don't know?
That's what's up.
Oh, you don't let your son listen to that?
You don't roll like that.
You don't roll like that? Don't clap her hands for her. No, I'm just joking. Now, that's Kevin Gates.
I was going to say that.
Now, look at this picture. What are your thoughts of this individual? Let's be realistic here. What are your thoughts? When you see this person on the screen, what do you think?
He's killed 2 people.
He's killed 2 people.
He's gonna
He's gonna shoot himself.
And he doesn't give a F.
He doesn't care. What else?
What else is on this hand? Oh, he sees you.
He sees you.
I mean, his hand is a gun.
Suicide. Now, let me stop right there. This young man scored a 31 on the ACT test at the age of 16. He scored a 31 on the ACT test at the age of 16. Now, if you scoring a score of that degree, you can get into Harvard, Yale, or Princeton. At the age of 16, that's what he scored. And here's a prime example of a young man that's emotionally constipated and emotionally incarcerated. Prime example. Teardrops on here. And if you go on YouTube and you Google him and listen to his interview, you would think you're talking to a college professor.
Right.
This brother, deep. I'm taking notes. I used one of his quotes at one of the high schools, and the kids went crazy. I was like, man. Kevin Gates said, why settle for success? Why settle for failure when success is free? Ooh. You know, of course, he's been in prison. And in prison, he had to come face to face with his constipation, his incarceration. And if you go to YouTube and listen to his interviews, he's talking about his trauma. And he talked about going to the doctors and they want to put him on medicine. But he said, that ain't gonna help me. So, we got a lot of young men who fall into this category, very intelligent, but they're constipated and they're incarcerated. And they're stuck. And if we don't reach them, they're gonna become incarcerated. But because he has money, he can get out. He did kill someone. 2. You know? Okay, well, I'm just saying, he killed it. Well, okay, that's a teardrop represent. I haven't talked with him, so I believe your sister. So, right, but when you go on YouTube and you listen to him, watch him talk, I mean, it'll blow you away how articulate and intelligent this man is. So when I see a lot of these young boys in the streets, I understand what they're dealing with. They smart and intelligent, but nobody has lit the fire to turn it on. Tupac was another one. Smart and intelligent, but no one lit the fire to turn it on. There you go again, billionaire. I mean, if you sit down and this guy did an interview, I mean, I listened to like Kevin Gates for I spent almost 8 hours. I was just fascinated. So when I do this presentation, I'm with the high school kids, when I put that picture up, some of them don't even know who Kevin Gates is. Some of them do, some of them don't, but then when they start like, what? Because now they see themselves, the boys see themselves. I said, how many Kevin Gates we got in the room? I said, how many of y'all in here smart and intelligent, and you know, but you just acting a fool because you want to? Let's read that together. 1, 2, 3.
What you feed your mind determines your appetite.
Scandal, empire, power. All the young people know about it. But the kids, if they're going to watch it, parents, you need to have a conversation with them. Even if they don't watch it, they go into school and they're learning about it. So don't think, I commend you for how you're raising your kids, but you need to have these conversations with your child, because when they go to school, they talking about scandal, empire, and power, they having a conversation about everybody know Cookie. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
Scandal, Olivia. These kids talk about, they might not know reading, math, language, arts, and science, and social studies. They know about Cookie and Olivia. So the question is, what type of effect is it having on them? Because what you feed your mind determines your appetite. So if I'm seeing this and I'm exposed to it on top of the video games I'm exposed to, I'm feeding my mind. Garbage. So what am I looking for? Garbage. What am I consuming? Garbage. So if your children are going to listen to it, have a conversation with them about it. Have a conversation with them about it. And say, this is not who you are, and this is who you should not be. You have to have these courageous, conscious conversations. So what happens once you are exposed, then you're what? Socialized. And then you're characterized based on how you were socialized. And then you're penalized based on how you characterized and you're socialized. And then they're institutionalized. You locked up. Because you have failed okie doke for social learning theory. You've been exposed to it and you believe it. It becomes part of your emotional, psychological being. So this is what happened to our young people. They are exposed to it, and then we're socialized by it, and then society characterizes them by how they're socialized, and then they penalize them. By institutionalizing them. We got 1.2 or 1.9 million people in prison, 1.3 million of black males.
2.3 million.
2.3 million, the one up, thank you, Mr. Miller. 2.3 million, 1.7 to 8 million of black males, somewhere in that, just give or take. And what's wrong with them? Emotional, psychological incarceration. Because guess what? When you're in that prison cell, now you got to face your trauma. You can't get away from it. And then you're going to find Allah, God. You're going to find somebody in prison. Jesus, what you want to believe in. You want to believe in a tree. You can find a tree in prison. But you're going to get in that cell, you're going to have an aha moment. You're going to have an aha wake-up moment. That's why we got so many of them in prison. Now I got to face my childhood trauma. I have no choice but to face it. Because I can't get away from it. Then I started talking to my cellmate about it. And then he started talking about his trauma. And then we realized what's going on. ADHD. Let's clear up some of the myths. Because, of course, a lot of African-American boys are on medication, but let's look at what the Center for Disease Control was. As a man in 2015. The Center for Disease Control? It's at that. Don't believe the hype. Now, this is true. Because you would think most African-American males are taking this. 11.5% of white, non-Hispanic, 8.9% African-American, non-Hispanic, 11.5%, 8.9 for African Americans, 6.3 for Hispanics. Why? So more Europeans are on the medication than we are. Yes, ma'am.
What about the population? Yeah, that's what you're saying. Population ratio.
In reference, what do you mean by that?
That's more Caucasian.
Well, yeah, that's true. So you can look and break the numbers down. That's true. So then it might even out then. Well, but okay, that's a good point. Yeah, population. I didn't take a look. That's a good one, Mom. Good one, Mom. Give her a hand. Give her a hand. Give her a hand. Give her a hand. So you absolutely right. You're right. Okay. So Mike, let's just say we even out there. Let's say 55. So then let's look at it. Why? TO versus KO. Who is TO? Anybody know who TO? Terrell Owens. Who is KO? Now, when we say KO versus TO, hey, that's a good point though. I never even thought about it from that perspective.
But it's still a lot since the African American population is lower. That's still high. That's still high.
Yeah, we're about 13% of the population. And I don't know what the Caucasians are, because I'm not Caucasian.
70.
So, I look white.
67.
Let me stop. Let me go on my presentation. Now, TO versus KO. See, African Americans knock out their kids. Europeans have timeout. See, timeout was not for us.
Okay.
Timeout was created by them. African Americans knock their kids out and deal with you later. But now the state says you can't punish the kid. So then you got to find different ways to knock them out without physically putting a hand on them. Becky says time out. Time out, Charlie. African American, I'm gonna knock you slam out and think about you in the morning. That's old school. Y'all know I'm telling the truth.
You are.